Hello, 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 lovely people. My name is Stephanie Bucklin, and I am your host for the Wellness Wednesdays podcast. But I'm also producing a conscious wellness event called the Spring Equinox Biohacking Expo. So I invite you in to come and check out this event. It's going to be online as well as in person. It's available both online on Zoom, and you can come in person in Phoenix. So if you are in Arizona, if you're near Phoenix, I do suggest coming live because there's all kinds of great things happening in person. But if you're not in Phoenix, if you're not in the area, I do also, please join us. I suggest you join us online because online is also an opportunity. So I am your keynote speaker. And my talk is called Revolutionizing Healthcare, how the Integrative Wellness Collective is disrupting healthcare. Because that is one of my goals as an organization. I would love for the Integrative Wellness Collective to build a framework to create a new healthcare, because I do feel our healthcare system is broken, and it's broken in several different places. So with that, if you come to the event, you will see my live presentation on revolutionizing healthcare, but I'm going to give you a little preview. So when I was a child, I witnessed my dad having all kinds of issues. At first, it was a heart attack when I was 17 years old. And then it moved on to type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure when I was in my 20s. He was in his 50s. And at that point, he didn't really know anything about the way to heal his body. He didn't understand that diabetes was actually a lifestyle disease. And he kept getting more and more sick. So after about 27 years of being in heart disease and diabetic, he actually passed away of a major heart attack when he was 73 years old, right around Christmas time. And actually at that point, I had talked to him previously about changing his lifestyle. I had already discovered that a plant-based diet would make a difference and it would help him change his life. But he would not make changes. He loved his food. He said, "Stuffy, this is what makes me happy." And I'm like, well, I guess daddy's going to be my biggest lesson as a coach, because he would not change. And so what I learned from that experience is that you cannot force people that don't want to change. You can't force them to change. So it's really about changing their mindset. And how do you do that? So I'm learning a lot about change theory. I've learned a lot since then about why people who are in difficult life situations won't change. And one of the things that I learned is that you have to be ready to change. You have to actually have gone through the process of thinking about it, moving into taking maybe inspired action, like you're researching or looking into that possibility. And then when you're actually ready to take steps is usually when the teacher shows up. When the student is ready, the teacher shows up. Or this is when that person will start seeking out solutions. They will look for opportunities. And unfortunately, daddy never did. And I felt that, at first, I felt like a failure. I felt like I had lost my dad and it was my fault, because I knew enough that I could have saved his life, but I couldn't get him to change. And it took me years to finally come to terms with that, because I realized a couple years ago, I realized that his life was not my responsibility. And that's a harsh lesson because I'm his oldest daughter. I felt responsible. But I stand here now in a place of clarity. And I understand that when I took the steps in the direction of healing myself, I took the steps in the direction of moving toward a better, healthier life, that was for me. It wasn't for anybody else. But I've been an inspiration for people, and I have continued to post things about healthy lifestyle, about optimal wellness, about longevity. And in fact, this conference that we're hosting, the Spring Equinox Biohacking Expo, is a conference that was born on the idea that we are all self-healers. So when I did a live earlier, I did a live on Instagram and on Facebook. And today is our social media blitz. I'm promoting the crap out of the Spring Equinox Biohacking Expo. I'm doing as much as I can to get the word out about this event. Now, I understand that change is hard. I understand that when you decide that you're going to make a change in your life, a lot of times you get a lot of flack. You get a lot of pushback, maybe from your family, from your friends, from even yourself internally. You could be pushing back on yourself and saying, why do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. I don't know. No, please don't make me do this. And yet, your better version of yourself is saying, wait, you can actually take this, you can take this step, you can make this change. It is possible for you to do that. So I invite you to do that. When you choose to take a healthier path, it's a choice. It's a conscious choice. And every single day is a new opportunity to change your life. Every single day is a new opportunity to revolutionize your own healthcare. So, with that introduction, I would love to share a little bit about my talk tomorrow. So, I established the Integrative Wellness Collective in 2008 is when I wrote the business plan. 2012, I started researching how to build this business. 2013, I found some steering committee members. 2014, I started a wellness center called the Holistic Wellness Community Center of Ventura. And in 2016, I closed the doors for that company, realizing that I was doing it in the wrong direction. The Integrative Wellness Collective is intended to be a cooperative structure. Now, I chose the co-op structure because it has a lot of value. It's a much different animal. It's like a different kind of business that's essentially like you understand, usually, most of us understand cooperatives, but we don't really know what they are. So, if you've ever been to a Winco Foods, or if you've ever been to an REI, or if you've ever been to a credit union bank, these are cooperatives. And so if you ask questions, say in the next time you visit a credit union, ask questions about their cooperative structure. Some of them still have the co-op structure, some of them don't, but they are a member cooperative. Primarily, the credit unions offer a membership, and in that membership, you get certain benefits. Members of cooperatives very often own the co-op. It depends on the structure of the cooperative. A lot of times, it will be just a percentage of ownership. It's not going to be 100% owner, of course, but a percentage of ownership where you get access to part owner of that business. Now, I'm not sure if credit unions offer ownership as part of what they offer. However, I do know that there are organizations that do. So Winco Foods is a great example. They're actually a worker cooperative. So the worker co-op structure looks more like the owners are the people who run the business. They're the workers. The people who work at that location actually own the business. Forgive me, guys. I'm in this little pod, and I think they cleaned it with something. It's affecting my throat. So, co-ops. The reason I chose a cooperative structure, the reason that I believe that this is the best structure for this Integrative Wellness Collective is the equity portion. It's putting us on equal standing. So when owners come in as part owners of a cooperative, the beauty of being an owner is you take responsibility for the business. You're more apt to be an owner, act like an owner, talk like an owner, be an owner. Take responsibility for the business. Be more mindful of how you treat the business. Be more mindful of how you act in your job. Be more mindful of how you talk to your coworkers, because these are people that you are co-owners with. There's a whole different energy and different culture when you really look at cooperative structures. So I invite you to go look in your city for cooperatives, because they do exist all over the world. They're just not heard of. It's not something that you talk about. It's not something that you really even realize. The last time you went into an REI, did you realize it was a cooperative structure? That's a member cooperative. And they'll actually ask you to become a member when you're in their store. There's another place called Thrive Market. I believe that's also a cooperative structure. So there are so many co-ops out there. But the beauty of the co-op, in addition to being an owner and really helping support the organization, is the dividends, the opportunity for equity investment. You actually get money back. So when the co-op becomes successful, you can receive dividends from your portion of ownership. And so, say, for example, you own a 1% share for a multi-million dollar company. Well, 1% of multi-million dollars, that could be a pretty nice check at the end of each year. I know that with most co-ops, they will do a community meeting with all of the owners. At the end of each year, they'll look at the numbers, they'll look at the revenue, they'll look at the profit, and they'll ask each individual member, what would you like to do with the profit? Do you want to reinvest? Perhaps become a larger owner, larger percent owner, or would you like the money to be distributed to you? So each member would have a choice. This is something that's written into the bylaws. So as we establish the Integrative Wellness Collective, we will write the bylaws to benefit the owners. We will write the bylaws to benefit the members. Now, the Integrative Wellness Collective is going to be a multi-stakeholder co-op. So this is a whole different animal from your usual cooperative, mostly because we have different levels of membership. It's a little more complex, mostly on the accounting part of it. But the way that it would work is that individuals who are part of our community, this might be an individual single person, it might be a member, a member of a family, it might be a group of people, and that individual or group would have a level of membership based on the number of people involved. Then there would be other people like the producers. So it'd be like your CSAs, your farms, people who produce product. Then there would be the level of business owners or business partners. In that level, that would be either individual solo entrepreneurs, or it would be a group of people that own the company or all work for that same company. And then there would be levels like investor levels, where we could actually bring in an investor for a period of time to help support the cooperative. So, to get to the meat of it, the reason that we're disrupting healthcare, well, because of my dad's story, but also my own story. I've actually struggled with chronic pain most of my life, most of my adult life anyway. I had carpal tunnel in my 20s, had the release surgery, and then after the carpal tunnel, I started to get neck pain from whiplash injuries, low back pain from being overweight and having a sedentary lifestyle, just like my dad, and upper back pain from a yoga injury. I became a yoga teacher in 2014, and in 2016, or around 2016, 2017, I injured my left shoulder. It's actually never been the same since. So I've had quite a journey of pain in my life. And what's really interesting about that is, if you get to know me, I'm very happy. I'm very positive. You don't really see the pain. And the people who know me really well, that know that I'm in pain, they can tell that I'm smiling through the pain. They know when my pain is worse. They know that I am grinning and bearing it. They don't always say something, but they do know. And I've got healers in my community that are willing to support that and willing to support the healing of my body and my mind. I truly appreciate this community. And I understand that this journey, I am one of those people, the healer be healed kind of people, where I had to go through my own healing journey in order to be an effective healer for you. So I had to understand what chronic pain was. I had to understand what it was like to be in pain, but not being able to express that pain, not being able to visibly see the pain because it's all chronic internal. You can't see my pain. I feel it every day, but you can't see it. So if I am acting perfectly fine and happy and chipper and smiling, how would you know? So they call this invisible pain. It is a very real thing. And there are people around the world that are experiencing chronic pain. And the only options that we have in Western medicine is drugs and surgery, maybe physical therapy, maybe steroid shots or nerve ablation, but there's nothing really holistic and certainly nothing directing us to a healthy lifestyle, moving in the direction of eating a healthy diet, exercise, drinking lots of water, all the things that we know will help us heal. And yet we don't do those things because you know what? It's too easy to live a standard American diet and live in this society and eat all the junk. It's so easy to do these things. So there's really no reason for you to take steps in the direction of a healthy lifestyle unless you do have some kind of crisis. And as soon as you have a crisis, your body's in a crisis mode. It's going to take some time to heal. So we set up the idea of opening a wellness center, which is why I opened the Holistic Wellness Community Center of Ventura. However, in the 2.5 years that I ran that business, I realized just from the feedback I got from other healers is this is not what they needed. They didn't need another wellness center. They actually need support for their own individual businesses. That is where healers are right now. And a lot of healing practitioners in this world are struggling with their business. And so our first attempt to disrupt healthcare is to improve the life and living ability of the healing community that is in Arizona. So we're going to start with the healing practitioners, the individual solo entrepreneurs, and then we'll move into the wellness centers and the larger organizations that are offering wellness. And then at that point, when we've gathered enough members where we can start making a big difference in the community, we will start having meetings in the direction of healing the community. What kind of therapies can we blend together, integrative, to actually move people forward in their healing process? What kind of therapies are going to help chronic pain? What kind of therapies are going to help metabolic syndrome? What kind of therapies are going to help cancer? And lastly, one of the big challenges that I know the United States especially, but even around the world, people are faced with is food deserts and food insecurity. And that is a concern. It's something that we as a collective want to teach people how to grow your own food, how to be more effective in acquiring food so that it's not a challenge and it becomes an easy part of your life. So all the different places that we're talking about helping people heal and move forward, this is how we're disrupting healthcare, because I want it to be integrative. I want it to be a team approach. I want to focus on prevention, and I want to help people resolve illness and pain. I want to help them move in the direction of resolution and healing, not just Band-Aids. So that's one thing that I saw in my dad that just broke my heart. And I don't want to see that anymore. I want people to go to a practitioner, and if that practitioner can't get them to healed, then they should be referring them to someone who can, not keeping them their patient and band-aiding the problem, giving them medication or the nerve ablations and the steroid shots. Like those things are temporary solutions. It's not a long-term solution. What in my body is causing chronic pain that has kept me from healing? It's biomechanical. I finally got a diagnosis after 3 years of searching and going to, I can't even tell you how many doctors in Western medicine. I finally, and actually even in Eastern medicine, I finally had a solution given to me by a neurologist. The neurologist said, you have cervical stenosis. It's a compression of the nerve, and it's going to be in the left side of my neck. It's right here. And the reason it's compressed is because I've got a lot of tension, I've got a lot of stress. So the muscle tension actually blocks the nerve. And so I need to focus on staying relaxed and staying rested, making sure that the neck stays relaxed. So I've learned different self-massage techniques that can help release that neck and release the tension there so I don't get so much of that pain going down this left arm. Then there's also movements I've learned for the pelvic floor to help release the low back so I don't have as much pain in my low back. So there are solutions. There are solutions for pain. Sometimes the solutions are action. You have to move. Sometimes the solutions are food. You have to change your diet. Sometimes the solutions are removing something from your diet that is causing inflammation. Sometimes it's about changing your mindset about pain. This is something I'm learning from my physical therapist, is that the pain receptors act differently when we're in chronic pain. We actually can control some of that pain with a thought process and a practice, and realizing that some of the pain is literally in our heads. So go figure. I didn't know this, but there's science now backing this up, that we actually will perpetuate pain in our brain and tell our bodies, no, it still hurts. No, it still hurts. No, it still hurts. And then this pain just never goes away. But that's not entirely true. Because if your body's healing, but your brain is telling it to hurt, then your brain is basically in control and saying, I say we're in pain. This thing hurts. But does it really? Is there actual pain here? I don't know. I don't think so. So interesting next level stuff. And this is why I wanted to create a biohacking conference. This is why I'm bringing these speakers to you. This is why we're doing this today and the rest of the week, because I felt that the information that we're disseminating to you has so much value, so much power, that it can really change your life. It can transform you. So I will include the ticket link in the description below of this video. I will include the information about the conference, and I will give you the links to reach out to me directly if you'd like to work with me. I am still a coach. I'm a healer. I'm a practitioner in the holistic healing arts. I'm a Reiki master, a psychic medium, a yoga teacher, and a business coach. So I'm doing the work in the direction of moving the Integrative Wellness Collective into fruition. We launched in January. We have several members who signed up and several more who are interested in being a part of it. And we have established an advisory board. We have a monthly networking mixer. We have opportunities for you to participate in the collective by coming to one of these events, setting up a booth, or doing a speaking engagement. As a member of the collective, those members are not paying to be a part of this conference, but everyone else is. So there's a beauty there, an opportunity there to promote yourself at no charge. There's also an opportunity to join a mastermind group. So if you're a wellness business owner, I do invite you to come check out the Integrative Wellness Collective. We are online at integrativewellnesscollective.org. You can also find us on the socials as Integrative Wellness Collective on Facebook and Instagram. And I do recommend that you follow us there, because there will be information that we share about cooperatives, about disrupting healthcare, about self-care and biohacking, about education, the different education modules that we're creating, about opportunities for healing, about discounts you can get from our healers, and about these amazing events that we're hosting. So thank you so much for stopping by and listening to my live. I appreciate you all so much. I love you, humans. Thank you so much. And namaste.